Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 12th episode of our Dragon Age series called The Search for Enders. I am Simon at Wandering DM. Before we begin and introduce the cast for this week's session, I just want to say thank you to all of our. Oh my god, thank you to the train of subs coming in. Thank you very much. But I want to thank our sponsors, beginning with Mage and Press, the makers of Dark Matter, the 5th edition campaign setting of D&D in space. They're also having a Kickstarter right now. You should check it out for a game called Conspiracy in the Star, which Gabe and I have been lucky enough to work on. And they've unlocked a bunch of stretch goals, so you should check them out. There's now an expansion for a mecha campaign. There's a Wormwood dice vault, level up dice, custom dice set for it, everything. It's awesome. You should definitely check them out. Next is Found Familiar, the great coffee company that you can order from. You can even use code WanderingDM to get 10% off your coffee purchases. Thank you, Kitten, for leaving room on the chair for me. And you should also check out our other sponsor, Roll20, the virtual tabletop that we use here on Wandering DM. It's you can find it on roll20.net, or you can also use all the panels down below to click on the link. And lastly, thank you to our partners, Level Up Dice, for through the Diceomancy program. If you're looking for nice, shiny new math click-clacks, be sure to check out the purple torch down below. That said, this week I'm playing Aidan, the bumbling fool of a mage who keeps shoving his foot deeper and deeper into his mouth. And that is all. Up next is our other players. Andrew will join us again for the game a bit later because of work-related things. So he'll probably won't have time to introduce his character, but he's playing Bastien, the Orlesian knight who had studied to become a Templar.
He's Ferelden. His mother was Orlesian.
Yeah, sorry. He's half Orlesian. The name threw me off. That said, let's go around the table and introduce our cast. We'll go clockwise around our overlay, so we'll finish with our GM so that she can take us away in this story. So we'll begin with Deirdre.
Oh, hello and welcome back all. You know me, I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, Praxagoth has me authority as you see me around on Twitch, and I get to play Varisa, our sneaky stabby bitch, Dalish elf, who, she's trying and not doing well. She doesn't do well. It's fine.
On the other side of the overlay is Kelly.
I was muted. Hello, I am Kelly the Opera Geek, and I play Mavia, the completely supposed to be here character that absolutely knows what she's doing and isn't making it up as she goes at all.
And right above her is our new player this season, Gabe.
Hello, I'm Gabe James Games, and I am playing Athcen, the elven mage, pretty much running from the circle, and then not sure what the hell he's doing because he does not have proper social skills at all. But he seems to be accidentally bonding with Fenris, which, fingers crossed, doesn't get him killed.
And to tell the story of all of these wonderful characters and the other important figures that we come across in Thedas is Tanya.
Hello, I'm your GM, Tanya. I often wind up playing two NPCs at once and having to talk to myself, which is very strange. But, I'm running these shenanigans with this lovely crew of folks, and let's see what happens, because we've caught Anders, and Athcen being a blood mage is the worst kept secret in Thetis right now. So we'll see what happens. But, as always, what happened last week, so you can catch everyone up that's watching that may be new to the stream.
All right.
Someone
so
talk.
Last week, after coming out of the Alluvion, the group went into the Inquisition camp, where we promptly delivered Anders to the medical tent. During that time, there was a conversation, which I am still fuzzy on the details because Aidan wasn't there. He was in the medical tent. But there was a conversation with Fenris about what happened on the other side of the Alluvians and the crossroads, and the loss of two of our party members, Harold and Zalanis. In the medical tent, Anders was brought back, healed and stabilized. And then Fenris came, and there was an argument, something about looking for him for some reason. Again, a bit fuzzy, because Aidan was thrown out of the tent, even though he tried to eavesdrop. And Varisa went to meet her beau in a clearing. She swapped a few secrets with Zevran, one of which was that Athcen is an adept at blood magic. She did that thinking that Zevran would not mind and would be in a position to argue on behalf of Athcen should Fenris do anything. We ended up, the whole party, except for Mavia, because her and Bull were sent on a side mission after Mavia ran up to him and hurt her head in the process. So the two of them left the camp. The rest of us chatted around the campfire. The discussion became heated. Varisa left. Athcen and I think Athcen, Aidan, and Zevran remained. But Zevran left soon after to follow Varisa into his tent.
Yes.
Oh, and Bastian was there. And he was getting tipsy.
Wow. And Bastian was there. Poor Bastian. Andrew's never going to forgive us when he gets here. It's like, I guess I was just there. So with that recap, we're ready for shenanigans. And I think we're going to actually start with Varisa and Zevran. You two had made some plans to meet up in his tent. So you, Varisa, were not happy with that conversation and walked off first. And Zevran got ahead of you. And by the time you get to his tent, he's waiting on you with a bottle of Antivan whiskey. And he has his boots off. And he basically has a paint me like one of your Orlesian girls pose going on. And he's waiting on you to arrive.
So I think it's one of those, she walks in, just kind of smirks at him and kind of takes the bottle from him at the time and takes a swig of it and then puts it down. And then very carefully next to it puts her bow down.
Okay.
And then pulls the largest of her knives, which has an actual hellahorn dagger, and she puts that next to her bow, which are, precise. And then she goes, well, you're gonna have to try and see if you can find the rest of them.
He just smiles, and he's got a camp cup with his whiskey, and he just grins at you. He's like, well, first off, how do you feel after that little altercation?
It reminded me that as much as Zalanis may have wished it, there is no clan, and they're not a replacement for it. And expecting them to act or think like a clan isn't going to get me what I need.
Well, it rarely does. Have you found anything about Zalanis and where he could have gone?
He's an elf, and the Illuvians like elves. He's an elf with magic, and the Illuvians like that even more.
True.
And considering we came out right after Anders, either Anders did something when Zalanis and Harold went through that he didn't do when the rest of us came through, or Zalanis did something, which, I'm not ruling out.
It's possible, but we can talk about that later or in the morning. If that's on your mind.
What's on my mind right now is that I really need to be distracted.
Do tell.
Well, I figure things will get much worse before they get better. So let's take the opportunity to enjoy something before the drama continues in the morning.
And would I be that something you'd like to enjoy?
I figure we'd both enjoy ourselves quite a bit.
Well, that was my plan. I just wanted to make sure it was yours.
Yes, I think that'll be an appropriate moment. And she just kind of picks the bottle back up and takes another swig out of it and walks forward, kind of offering it to him slightly.
Okay, so Zevran gives you that sneaky little smile of his and tugs you down so that basically you're straddling him, but you still got the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And he leans in and he gets close, but he doesn't move to kiss you because he wants permission.
Yeah.
He's like, may I?
Well, I definitely hope so.
Now, you know as well as I do that consent is, what is it? The saying is consent is sexy. And
Always.
after things I've been through, I would never take someone unwilling.
And that is why you are very attractive. And consent is always what's most important. So do I have your consent? As she kind of drapes her arm around the back of his neck.
Of course, my dear.
And then she'll lean in and kiss him.
Okay. So out of character DM'd player, is that where you want it to fade to black, or are we going a little further?
I think we'll let that fade to black because,
Okay.
They're not Fenris and Harold.
Wow. The shade. Okay then.
Well, she didn't have time to prepare the entire Varric approved seduction techniques.
See, if it's Varric though, he would make it into this, whatever the Harlequin romance equivalent in Thetis would be, and it'd be too flowery and weird and not really like Zevran or you.
Yeah.
So this is Cassandra fanfic level that we're fading to black on.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So that is what Varisa and Zevran get up to the rest of the evening. Before we go to the morning, does anyone want to chat more? Did you talk more at the fireside before you call it a night, or we can go ahead and skip to morning?
Aidan wanted to speak to Athcen, but I don't know if we want to move it to the morning or do so right away.
I actually think that conversation would be good in the evening, and then you could enact it once it's the next day. So to set the scene, other people have gone to sleep, they've gone to bed, and there's patrols around, and that leaves just Aidan and Athcen around the campfire, kind of looking at each other awkwardly, as Reese off enjoying herself quite well, and Mavia is still off with Bull, as far as you know. So, Aidan and Athcen, what are you two talking about?
Ah, ah, that was a nice dinner. And Aiden would be looking left and right to make sure, to try to see if there are anybody within like earshot of the conversation. Like, you know, like sentries or
There'd be people roaming about, but they're guards. They're with the Inquisition. They're not concerned with people in your camp. They're more concerned with listening to people that are around. And since you were given a tent and you've been fed and you're still in the camp, word has been passed that you are with the Inquisition. They're not going to like snoop and see who you are.
Oh, okay. So, if we say the B word, they won't jump on us. And by B
No,
word,
like,
I mean, yeah.
but if you say blood magic, they're not like, like guards in movies. Imagine they're guards in a video game that wouldn't notice even if you shot them in the knee with an arrow.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Got it.
I I wanted to apologize for blurting out your secret from earlier.
I understand. I went from one person knowing my secret to now 6, at least.
It is a lot. If it's any consolation, I am similarly wanted, perhaps still, by the Templars. I feel like it's only fair if I come clean to you so that we both are aware of each other's secret and not keep things from one another. I would hate to have something to hold over you. If that is okay with you.
Yeah. A secret, though. Sort of secret.
And for the rest of the conversation, Aiden will speak in Elven. I am an apostate. It's been said publicly that I've used blood magic in the past. Though that is not the case.
What?
I fled from the circle. And I know this is different from where you are, where you come from. Do you have circles of mages in Tevinter?
In a sense, yes.
Well, we, that is to say, the Templars have control over us. Using our blood, they can. Well, it's quite literally blood magic, but they can track us down, and they know where we are at all time. I ran away. I had Templars after me. Templars that are way more trained than our friend Bastion here. I have killed so many of them, I forgot how many. In fact, my old staff still has notches on it, one for every Templar. I left it behind before leaving through the Illuvian. I never stumbled upon the Illuvian. I was shown how. The crossroads were like a pilgrimage, if you will. I learned through a spirit, an elven spirit. I know I may not look like it, but I am part elf. My mother was an elf. A city elf, they call them. Not a Dalish.
Yeah. We have found ourselves an interesting group of people. And in full honesty, as you were saying, they mentioned that their compatriot, Anders, was possessed. And part of the reason I'd want to talk to him is because I have a slight concern that I am as well.
Ooh. Oh.
To leave to Winter, I did not want to be there for a plethora of reasons. And fear is a powerful thing. And when I became afraid enough, something in my dreams, it offered me a way to leave. And I found myself in the Illuvians not long after.
You spoke with a spirit.
I don't know if it was a spirit. I didn't always smile when I was nervous. It happened after I spoke to the thing in my dreams, nightmares, its relative.
Could you describe that spirit? Have you ever seen it before?
I'd say it felt like it. If the legs of a spider were on the back of man, and a horrifying face.
Tanya, could I use my knowledge of spirit magic to try to identify what that spirit would be?
Sure. I thought you were going to talk this out. Sure, go for it.
Just before, because it'll inform Aiden's reaction.
Sure, go for it.
10, 16, 20.
I would absolutely say you can figure that out. I will send you a whisper, unless Athcen, you would like to tell Aidan what kind of spirit it is.
It is a fear demon.
Okay. It sounds to me that you're describing a fear demon. That does not bode well. Have you ever lost control of your actions to it? Your thoughts?
Not as far as I know yet. And that is what made me so dedicated to come along with this group of people, as they had experience with someone else who was possessed.
Well, hopefully they'll keep Anders alive. I have some knowledge of spirit magic, but I've never been possessed. The spirit has always been like you and I, just conversing, talking, teaching.
I think part of the reason it stays at bay is because having the abilities that I do, I live in a perpetual state of fear. So I suppose it never goes hungry.
That makes sense.
And that makes me think the reason I smile when I'm nervous is because it's happy, not me.
Oh. That. I wish I knew how to deal with this. I. Welcome, Raiders! To be fair, I have knowledge of spirits and how they act, but I've never tried to sever the connection between a spirit and a person. Less so a demon.
It's the first time for everything, I suppose.
There is.
And you see he's like fighting the smile.
Well, just so you know, this secret is safe with me. I will not blurt it out. It's hard enough to act the fool so that people don't suspect the thing.
I'll be honest, you scare me a little bit.
Oh,
But I mean it in the sense that you're so friendly and open and charming. That means that you're probably very dangerous. Okay, yes.
I wouldn't consider myself dangerous so much as I am proficient in the use of the magic that I know. The Templars would probably consider me a serious threat, but that's only because they kept sending them after me and my family.
Well, here's to being serious threats to Templars. And then he puts his hand out.
I'll grab it and shake it.
Huzzah. You got the power of friendship.
Yeah. I don't know what to do now. Do we kiss?
I mean, that's up to y'all.
I'm not Harold, so you're gonna have to work a little harder.
Oh,
okay. That's what'll get Harold to come out of the Alluvian. If there's like another hot elf, he'll just show up.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Keep that in mind. I'll get my makeup ready. Ugh.
I mean, oh my god, if you start hitting on Fenris,
yeah,
and Harold walks in just as you're trying to make out with him, that would be amazing.
Worth it. Assuming
Fenris doesn't find out your secret, because that is a whole lot. I don't know if kissing will be on the menu.
Why do you think I'm trying to get rid of it? That's the first route to romance. Get rid of blood magic, go on a date. Just don't tell him about the first part.
Just blood magic? I've never heard of it. Never met her.
There's a really bad blood magic reference in there that we're just gonna pass over, and I think we should go to the morning. Well, the word morning is involved. Word morning is involved.
Wow. Well, first, before we go to the morning, welcome, Bestian. We're happy to see you. If there's anything you wanted to do before we go to Mavia and Bull, or if you want to think about something while Mavia and Bull are conversing, let me know.
Thoughts may occur, and I'll let you know. Hello, everyone.
Yay! You wish you had popcorn. Oh my god! It may be a popcorn kind of evening. It is Thirsty Thursday, so raise your glass. So while all this shenaniganry is happening at our camp, Bull and Mavia are, I don't know. What did we ever decide the unit of measurement was? It's not miles, is it? Or do they use the empirical system in Kirkwall and Thetis?
I think they use the metric system.
Damn it, they would.
They
American.
Yeah, it's a Canadian game.
Yeah, so the Canadians may have to convert things for me. So a few kilometers well away from camp. Bull and Mavia have stopped. You were sent off. Maybe you discovered to see if there's any signs of where Anders may have traveled before he was kind of trapped at that alluvion that he ran into. If there's any sign of Harold or Zelanis, because, Fenris would like Harold back at some point. They did shag over some cold cuts. So he'd like his salami boyfriend back, which sounds very strange now that I said that. So, you've done your diligence, you've searched around, and Bull was going to kind of leave you to go back to Skyhold and check in with Scout Harding and kind of be ready to give a report to Fenris as soon as they got back. But maybe it was not going to be left behind. And through the power of compulsion, not compulsion, you gave him, first you kind of gave him sad eyes about this, and then you got real serious, which surprised Bull. So what are you and Bull are having a conversation that anyone else that has met you so far maybe would be very surprised at. Because gone is the nervous chatter, the I really belong here, and the way that people have seen you. But this is super serious, maybe a talking to Bull, someone she's come to trust.
And we're still on the road, or are we stopped?
You stopped. You set up like a pup tent. For you, it's great. It's roomy. Bull's just like, I'm just gonna throw a sleeping bag out and take watch, because you're not playing. It's not like full camping like the camp you left.
It's not glamping. We're not glamping.
You're not glamping, and the expectation right now is that you'll either come back to the camp before they break and head towards Skyhold, or if they've already moved on, that you're coming back to Skyhold at some point tomorrow after you've scouted. So you've got a fire going, you still have mystery jerky and your other snacks. Bull had camp rations. You've made some campfire tea, and you're just kind of having a dinner over a campfire.
Mm-hmm. And just for clarity, does Mavia know at this point that he had planned to leave her?
You had talked about it, but you were like, no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And it's like, and if nothing else, you're still very much like, I want to prove I want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So Bull gave up on the notion of leaving you behind or walking you back to camp or to Skyhold very early.
Okay. Well then, so she would definitely, after she gets her stuff set up in the tent, because, she's got stuff's got to get set up. She would kind of walk over to the fire and like plop herself down across the fire from him.
Mm-hmm.
And she would start eating mystery jerky, because she hasn't died from it yet, so presumably
Fair.
It's fine. And she's just gonna kind of give him that stare. If you've ever like eaten with a kid who thinks that you've done something wrong or whatever, and they just kind of stare at you across a table, just the constant unblinking stare while they eat. And so this is what she's doing right now. Like she's trying to figure something out.
So, Bull's a Ben Hassrath. He knows precisely what you're doing. And, he's like, he's drinking his campfire tea. And then he finally looks at you. He's like, all right, what's on your mind? You're giving me the 1,000-yard stare. What's up?
Why would you want to leave me behind?
I wasn't just going to leave you in the forest. I was going to take you back to camp. You did hit your head, Mavia.
This is not my first head injury, trust me. I really thought that at this point, I'd have done enough to at least prove that I could be helpful.
It's not that you're not helpful. If I didn't think you were helpful, I wouldn't have brought you with me. You've seen me, maybe. Do you think I'm really going to bring someone along that I think is a liability? Really?
No, but you would bring someone along that you would maybe then leave somewhere else.
If I leave you, it's because I know you're capable of taking care of yourself. I'm not just going to, like, good luck in the forest, goodbye. Maybe I let you put a dangly thing on my horn, a hair ornament.
It's because it looks pretty.
True. I mean, it's me. It's gonna look pretty anyway.
I mean, it's, you know, I know you put a lot of stock in how you look to other people, so it's pretty.
Yeah.
What
maybe
do you?
No, go ahead, maybe.
If you think like that you would have, your first thought was to leave me. And you're probably the only person, well, yeah, you're probably the only person that really would consider me a friend around here. And if that's what you would do, what do you think the rest of them would do?
He kind of gives that sigh like he's trying to be really patient. He doesn't want to yell or fuss. Because one, it's nighttime. He doesn't want people sneaking up on you and knowing you're there. It's like maybe a look. If I was gonna leave you, I was gonna either ask you to go back to camp or walk you back to Skyhold.
I'm not talking about you right now.
I don't know. I don't know what's in other people's hearts, maybe. I can only tell you what's in mine. And I wasn't doing that because I didn't believe in you. I was trying to look out for you because you'd been hurt.
You know, don't you?
No. Oh, that you weren't really the person that got the invitation? I knew that from day one. But you stuck around. Anybody else could have ran away once they got found out. You could have taken the golden run.
I haven't been paid. He still hasn't paid me.
Well, you just found Anders a few hours ago.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is, if you're saying you have confidence in me, but you thought I was hurt. And you can tell with the tone of her voice that she's not quite buying that excuse.
And for Bull, it's totally not an excuse. He's like, no, you're my friend and you were hurt. I was trying to make sure you were okay. Because Bull is like, he is a Ben Hasworth, which is basically like an Antivan Crow. He's a professional liar.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Mavia, he really was concerned for your well-being. And he thought if he had to go running off with very little supplies or something, you already had a head injury.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want you to die.
Yeah. And I mean, Kelly understands that, but maybe has got some trust issues she's working through. So, but if you considered it, even if your intentions were the best intentions, it really makes me wonder. It makes me wonder what the rest of them are thinking.
Well, the easiest way to find out is to ask.
Have you met Varisa?
Yeah, and she's like Zevran. She's not going to lie to your face. Unless, of course, she's got a contract to kill you, then she probably would. But I don't think she would just lie to you just to make you feel better. Have you seen how she talks to people?
If she was given the opportunity to get Zelanis back, but to do that, she had to get rid of one of us, she'd do it.
I don't think so, but I know she cares a lot about her keeper, and she's probably hiding how much she's bothered by him being missing, but I don't think she'd get rid of one of you to get Solana's back. She has honor.
Well, somebody has to in our group.
So Bull sits back and he looks at you. He's like, so wait, the people you're traveling with, you don't think they have honor?
I mean, I don't.
I don't think that's true. After all, you're sitting here with me and you're having an honest conversation. If you didn't have honor, you wouldn't do that. Like I said, you would have left. You would have run away the second you got found out if you had no honor. There's a soft little shell there, but you're tougher on the inside than you think.
Well, of course I am. You have to be tougher on the inside when you're from where I'm from. Although I don't think you've ever been there. I'm not sure you'd fit through the doors.
No, can't say I've ever visited the hallowed halls of Orzammar or other dwarven establishments.
I don't know about hallowed halls. That's probably some part of the city I never got to see.
It's a saying, maybe.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I believe in you, and everyone else that knows that you're not supposed to be here, they're giving you a break. We lost
I think she covered her camera.
Oh, okay. It's like we lost her. So, I would say just ask. Bastion seems like a stand-up guy. Don't know yet about Athcen or that Aidan guy because we just met him.
Hello.
You're not there.
You're not here.
Get out. Don't be that player.
Bastion has some issues.
We all have issues.
Oh, I know that. But some of us can control it a little better. He surprised me.
Oh, what do you mean?
She would relay the fact that, he almost killed people he'd never met, just like in blind rage.
Oh. Wonder if he trained as a berserker.
I don't know.
Because that sounds like a berserker kind of thing to do.
And the two new people, I mean, they're not Harold and Solanas. I mean, Aidan is a bit... If you're worried about a head injury, I really think you should start with him, to be honest, if we're speaking plainly. Athcen is afraid.
Of what?
I think of everything. You remember when we were fighting in that town that maybe I would totally remember, but Kelly forgot the name of?
Crestwood?
Thank you. And that thing got a hold of you?
Yeah.
That's how he acts all the time.
Well, I haven't known him that long, have you?
I've gotten real good at watching people.
But I know Brady would make a good Ben Hasrith, but I don't think you'd want to do our training program.
I'm not sure I would fit the uniform.
Oh no, we do have dwarves and elves that join the queue. And Bull starts, if you don't cut him off, he's gonna launch the whole thing about the Qun and how it's a belief versus like who they are.
Yeah. She would listen for a little bit. I mean, she doesn't know that much, and I mean, she's just gonna let him talk, and then she'll wait until he takes a breath.
Okay.
You were afraid for a day.
Yeah, and I hated it.
I think he's been afraid for years.
well.
And I don't know if he's safe.
From himself or to us?
From us.
Why would we do something to him?
I think it's more the fact that he thinks we would.
Well, once we're back at Skyhold, hopefully we can talk to him. Or on the way there, because depending on when we start back toward camp tomorrow, we should meet up with them.
She's kind of giving him the stare again.
Like what? He like squints his good eye and stares back at you. Like staring contest?
If you think I haven't understood all your dirty jokes, you're incorrect.
Okay. He's just very confused now because he's like, we went from super serious to talk being lewd.
No, she's not being lewd. She's just letting him know that every time he's made a double entendre joke that he thinks she didn't get, she totally understood what he was saying.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Because I mean, it given her stature and her personality, people do tend to think of her as a kid.
Yeah, but I mean, most people in Thetis would realize she's a dwarf.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that, but it's just like the automatic, she's this kind of attempting to be cheerful all the time, and
those
cultivated
like,
that, cultivated that kind of look all the time, but she would just kind of lean back and say, okay. So if I'm going to believe you and believe that you're not just going to get rid of me the minute that you can, you're going to have to prove your friendship to me.
And Bull just points at his horn like, I've walked around for 2 weeks with this thing wrapped around my horn.
It's pretty.
Yes, but it's impractical for what I do. Someone could see that in the sunlight and shoot me.
If they saw that before they saw you, it would be amazing.
Not when I hide.
Either way, you promised.
Maybe. Do you think I'm going to get up like an hour before you and leave or something?
No, I meant you promised to eat some of this jerky, and she throws a handful of mystery jerky at him.
And he catches like, fine. I mean, it hasn't killed you yet, so.
Dwarves are very hardy stock.
Wait until you drink with a Ben Hasrith again.
Mm.
And he just starts eating some of the jerky. He's like, fine, whatever, I'll humor you. And it doesn't taste weird or anything unless you really.
No, I have no idea what kind of animal this was.
And neither does the DM. So far as I know, it will not kill anyone.
And if somebody was paying attention, they would maybe think about how after, having had her own pouch of this mystery jerky for several days, why she still has so much of it, even though it appears she's been eating it.
Yeah, well, Bull is also like literally at two-thirds her size.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, over two, you know what I mean.
Oh, no, I mean, she hasn't been eating it at all.
Okay, so he's gonna eat it, and he's like, whatever. He figures if a dwarf can take it, then
So now she's watching him very intently for side effects.
wow, maybe wow. Trying to poison. See, you're worried about Bull leaving you, and now
No.
Bull's gonna be worried about you poisoning
No,
him.
he's not gonna poison. She's not gonna poison. She would know if it
No.
was bad. She would know if it was bad. But anyway.
No, Bull eats it. He's fine, and he actually, takes some of his camp tea, washes it down, and has more.
See, it's just like bacon.
I've had bacon. This is more like, I don't know what it's like.
It tastes like chicken, probably. Everything tastes like chicken.
Are there chickens in Thetis?
I don't know.
Okay, so there's chickens.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm the last person who should have.
No, that was more of an out loud. Are there chickens in Thetis? I don't know. I know they have bananas and pears.
That chicken coop in DA Origins when you get to what's that first town right after you leave Oscarith?
I mean, after Ostagar?
Something
yeah.
crossing.
No. It starts with an L.
Oh, Lothering.
Lothering.
All the chicken coop off the side.
While we're paused, Urban Bohemian, I'm going to
Oh my God, Brian.
end you.
Well, it is Thirsty Thursday. Can I get some Fenris in the chat if you got it from my channel?
Oh, dear.
That deserves a ding and a Fenris emote. Oh my God.
It does. But yeah, no. She she obviously wouldn't give it to him if she thought it was actually bad. She knows it's not bad. But she feels a little better, at least about Bull after that conversation.
Yeah.
And she thinks maybe that he understands that she's not quite as the wide-eyed, oh my goodness, really person that she is pretending to be.
Yeah. I mean, he had kind of a sense of that, but
Oh my God, buddy.
Oh, there's Amabari.
Yeah, he's being needy.
Oh, there's Amabari.
But yeah, I mean, that's basically, yeah, that would, I think, be a good place to end that conversation.
Okay, well, Bull eats and he lets you sleep, and he actually makes sure that you're fine, and he wakes you up for like a couple hours of watch before you start heading back to camp.
Mm-hmm.
So just to show that he wasn't going to leave you, not that he was anyway.
I'm gonna roll a perception check if I'm on watch.
All right.
I don't get to roll a lot as Mavia. Let's see here. That's actually not bad. 16, 18. Yeah.
Oh, so you got a 18. So while you are finishing up watch, Bull's not yet awake. He lets you get a couple hours of watch. Partially because of the conversation you had, partially because he really does need a little more shut-eye.
Mm-hmm.
You hear rustling around where you've made camp. You come out of you are around the tent, and you hear rustling, but it's nothing coming directly toward your tent. They're not like it's not like something is just coming to check you out, but you definitely hear something walking around a little too close for comfort. Are you going to go see what it is? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think she would pull out one of her daggers and have it in her hand, and she'd just kind of very cautiously approach and see what's going on.
Okay. You rolled really well, so I'm not going to make you roll again to see exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. But you find two small fluffalos, or druffalos, accurately. You find two small fluffalos that are nosing around the camp.
Are they baby fluffalos?
They're baby fluffalos.
I'm going to hug one.
I'm sorry, you're going to what?
I'm going to hug one.
You do know they still have horns as babies, right?
I am going to hug one.
All right. Give me a...
I imagine they look kind of like Highland cows. So that is... That is the image I have in my head.
Fair. I'm just like, oh my god, where is this going? Let me look at your character sheet really quick. I mean, you do have searching. Go ahead and roll it. I just want to see what kind of hug you give this thing.
Oh wow, that's a bad one.
What is your roll?
5, 8, 10.
It's not terrible, but the little fluffalo does like make this like sad noise, like this startled noise that something has grabbed it. Because all it knows is, oh my god, something grabbed me, and they're not used to things grabbing them because they're. And now I'm saying fluffalos. They're actually called druffalos, but so it like bucks you off and like runs away, and the other one that heard this distressed noise from its sibling, I guess, runs off to you. So these two baby fluffalos are now running away because they were startled by a random hug.
She's satisfied. She got to hug it for half a second. She's satisfied.
Yeah, you got to hug the very fluffy thing.
Kelly is also satisfied.
That you did not expect to hug. But yeah, you all, you can, on the way back to camp, you can tell Bull about your adventures in hugging a baby fluffalo before he woke up. And by the time you have told Bull of this great feat of cunning and dexterity, everyone is awake. They're in camp. And Mavia and Bull see just about everyone else, except, of course, for Anders and Fenris. So you have found each other in the main kind of open area of this camp. And breakfast is being cooked before camp is struck, so it won't take long to get back to Skyhold. You all are back together again. What are you doing and saying, and how is your morning starting?
Coffee.
Wow,
There's a coffee cup that kind of appears next over the top of your shoulder.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Oh my god, you're gonna get stabbed. I mean, that would be me if you did that at the convention. All right, you have a very chipper Aidan with you. Bastian clearly needs coffee. Athcen is not yet awake. Varisa, did you come out of Zevran's tent, or did you go to your tent first?
Probably she came out of her tent, but again, she's an early person, so
And Zevran is too, because he's been trained that way by the crows. So
exactly.
We have a kitty. Now we have Sir Pouncelot.
Sir, claws on my shoulder.
My God,
Ouch.
it's huge.
He does not look happy to be up on your shoulder.
Okay, get down.
The cat's like, no, I've had enough of this. Oh, are you bleeding?
It's just a tiny. We have to cut his claws.
Simon, that cat was the size of your chest.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow, Brian, wow.
It's because he's fluffy.
One day when someone has to miss the show, we should totally have Brian on as an NPC.
We need Brian as an NPC.
But yeah, hello. Good morning, everyone.
Varisa just holds the cup of coffee over Bastion's shoulder, like waiting for him to notice that it's there, and then hands another one.
He will grab it and just
Aidan.
stare at it and then start sipping.
Mavia, what are you doing now that you've seen everyone?
I'm sorry. She was about to try and grab Bastion's coffee, but thought better of it. So she would go get her own coffee. I think she knows that that's a battle she probably doesn't want to pick. Most likely.
So when she does have coffee, though, Bastion is going to look at her and just so.
So
Regale us with your tales of adventure. Where were you? Everything okay?
oh yeah, no, everything's fine. Whoa, that was what the hell? Don't even. I was from like Dakota there for a second. No, everything was fine. It was a very important spy mission. I am very stealthy, so I was chosen. I mean, you're awesome, but you're very loud with all the armor. So it was a super important spy mission, and I infiltrated the enemy's defenses.
Awesome.
I hugged a baby buffalo.
You hugged.
Mhm.
Sorry, you hugged a baby,
Buffalo.
and you're still alive to tell the tale.
Mm-hmm.
Mavia,
Mm.
how hard did you hit your head?
Right. She grabs her coffee and sulks away and goes and sits down on the opposite side of the fire.
To be fair,
Wow.
Bastion, remember, she hugged you first.
Yeah, I can't say anything to that. But I'm less dangerous. No, that doesn't even work. He's gonna shut up and just keep drinking his coffee.
Wow.
And
She's just glaring over the top of her coffee cup at this point.
Mavia, you've got balls.
Is someone talking to me?
he's badly attempting to apologize.
Mm.
Wow.
How are you feeling, by the way?
Me?
Yes.
I'm fine. Like I told Bull, it's not the first time I've hit my head. Goodness.
All right.
Yeah, I'm completely fine. Absolutely fine. No lingering effects at all.
What is Athcen doing? Is he still like pretending like he's like I don't know these people?
I absolutely adore Gabe's face. Like he's just like
Honestly, Ashton's reaction is probably the same as Gabe. He's like, I think he really has this perception that like of everyone here, Mavia probably is like the most dangerous, not because of like lethality, but like she's the most unpredictable, and that's what makes her terrifying. Because she could literally fall out of the sky and be like, I can't believe that happened for a third time. And everyone else is fine with it. And he's just like, that's not okay.
It's like, that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like she's the person that's in boss of only herself, and she totally doesn't care. She will like the Iron Bull thing. She says whatever the hell she wants to him. And Aston is like, that's a big man. And she's just saying all kinds of nonsense. I made him little hair things. You what?
have I told you, Athcen, about when I met Bull for the first time? Is Bull still by the fire, by the way? Is he like there?
Oh yeah, he came back, like you came back together. He's got his coffee. He's like there, but he is like kind of looking around to see where like Fenris and Zevran are, so he can go and report. So he's gonna let you like eat breakfast and reunite with people.
Did I ever tell you that, Athcen?
I think you did, but I don't think that will stop you from telling me again. Please, I see the excitement in your eyes.
You see, funny that you mentioned my eyes, because that has a lot to do with how I met Bull. And she would just like go into the story about, walking right up to him and asking if he still had an eye behind the eye patch.
Everyone going, you can't just ask people that, Mavia.
Athcen will probably lean in. Does he?
He still hasn't told me. I was going to check when he was asleep last night.
No.
But then I didn't, because he's my friend now, and that would be rude.
Yes, not about danger to your life. It is about the moral consequences of it. I agree.
Yeah. We talked about you.
What?
Oh, God.
Why?
Oh, he just wanted to know about the new people.
I think I accidentally almost flirted with him. He's not interested, right? That's a lot to...
Well, he might be.
Nope.
So, quick DM break-in. Canonically,
Yes.
Bull is Pan and has a thing for redheads.
Which Kelly did not know when she started this entire joke relationship.
Okay, Kelly, you're a dwarf. He's a Canary.
I know, but still.
it's like, oh God, I hate this reference. It's like that. Not gonna say it. Never mind.
No, I have.
Yep. I knew where you were going with that.
I'm glad everybody else said it.
I knew where you were going with that.
Oh, I've seen that, and the minute you could romance Bull as a dwarf, I was like, welp.
Yep. It's so there's this picture of a hamster eating a banana. If you
I'll send
Google
it to you by Discord.
Yeah. Cool.
See size difference, aka size cake, in tvtropes.com.
Yes.
Yep.
But anyway.
Do you have a crush on him? Do you want to date him?
Why would I want to date him? He's my friend.
Shouldn't you date your friends?
Is that how friends are supposed to be? Am I supposed to be dating all these people?
I don't know. I've never been on a date. I was asking you. I thought you would know.
Why would you think I would know?
Because you talk to everybody we have ever met.
But I don't always listen.
And you see like a flash of realization like go through his face. Huh.
I listen to you because you're interesting. Not everybody's interesting. But a very good skill to learn is making them think they are.
Do people underestimate you a lot?
Most of the people who do don't remember doing it.
Is it because they're dead?
She just goes back to drinking her.
Creepy.
She's going back to. She's gonna start drinking her coffee again.
That's Athcen saying that. Smiling and not answering is terrifying. You're a tiny, terrifying titan.
Don't worry. Like I said, you're interesting.
Is that how Athcen looks right now?
Yes. It's the don't worry, and then you're interesting.
That's something a serial killer says.
Yes, it is. People who say don't worry 75% of the time, it's like, you better worry or you're dead. But he thinks he's fine. But now he's just concerned about it. It's pretty much going to be like watching anyone that interacts with Mavia and then making sure that they're there the next day.
I mean, she went off with Bull and Bull came back.
Bull's big.
Everybody's big compared to Mavia, let's be fair.
That makes it worse.
Wow.
Huh.
So, I didn't tell him about the thing, if that's what you're worried about.
Oh, I have a plan to get rid of the thing.
I'm not, are we talking about the same thing?
I feel like Varisa would just lean in and be like, yes, stop talking about it. But I could be
like
wrong.
It's this moment of like Varisa walks by and just places another plate in front of Mavia and goes, and doesn't say anything, just like leaves her another plate and walks back away.
Oh my god.
But no, I didn't tell him about the thing. Don't worry.
I trust you. And there's a genuine smile, and it goes back to eating. And Gabe can't handle any more of this cute because he keeps thinking about weird things now. And
Brain.
No, it's the banana thing. It's stuck in my head.
I mean, you thought of it. The rest of us just verbalized it.
I played Dragon Age. I romanced Iron Bull. I know how this works. That's the problem.
I romanced Iron Bull, and then I saw the panel where they claimed that they totally conned one of the artists into actually drawing Bull's cock. You'll never see it in the game, but they kind of conned him into doing it to scale.
And people wonder why I make sure none of my characters ever have romantic involvements.
I think I heard somebody laughing.
That last part was what really threw me. Because that meant they had a perception of scale. Not, you know what?
What are we discussing? Chicken?
This is Rule 34, Gabe.
Oh my god. Does Aidan come ask that?
Yep.
I mean, you're all together.
Now he sees the unease in between Athcen and Mavia, and Aidan.
I'm not unease.
Oh no, but I see it in Athcen's face.
Oh.
It's mostly one way. But Mavia, you're back.
You are very perceptive.
I am.
He rolled it. He got 3 6s on his perception check.
You're a demon.
No.
Could be.
Could.
Hold on. Do you say
I
that
don't
out loud?
actually say that to him.
Okay.
No.
I'm just like, oh my god.
So y'all two are like the two characters that never have a conversation in a TV show, and this is exactly why.
Oh my god. I'm just like, did you just walk up to him and say you're a demon? And I'm like, well, that's about to go somewhere.
No, you said he rolled 3 6s, so Kelly was amused.
Oh, okay. I was like being totally facetious.
Oh, okay.
So what do you say to Aidan?
I am indeed back, Aidan.
Oh,
I have
God.
seen things.
I am sure that you did.
Horrible things.
Oh. Oh, like
Terrible
what?
things. I can't even tell you.
Oh.
I don't want to give you nightmares.
Hmm.
You seem very kind. Possibly a
have told
little
me that.
slow, but that's okay.
Does that mean we should prepare for the worst? I have never been to this Skyhold place. I have no idea how dangerous the wilds are.
You could always hope for the best, but you should really expect the worst. It's a very dangerous world, Aidan.
Yes. I figure it is. The crossroads
Especially for elderly people.
I am quite old now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe.
Did you get breakfast yet?
No, I just woke up and I said hello, and then I heard talk of chicken. That was my day. It's
I don't recommend chicken for breakfast.
I had to eat just about anything I could find in the crossroads, so...
Did you eat bugs?
Yes.
Were they good?
No.
Oh.
You do what you need to survive.
Did you eat grass? Did you eat trees? Did you eat baby dragons?
Those are...
She will keep going on and just asking you things until you go get breakfast.
I think it's going to take a good 15 minutes. Because
Once he-
Aidan
once-
will like answer your questions.
Once he finally leaves, she's going to kind of look over at Athcen and just
Yes.
smile.
Wow. That's so fucking creepy.
You are nice and also scare me a little bit.
It's very important to be balanced in your life.
Hmm.
And then she'll wander off.
Bastian and Varisa, what are you two doing?
The interrogation kind of put a smile on his face as he kept drinking his coffee. He would have likely gone and got some food though prior to the end of it,
Okay.
and then come back to everyone else. Maybe as wandering off.
She's just wandering like she does.
Bastion is gonna wander towards her.
Okay.
And are you really okay, Mavia?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I seem not okay?
Well, I mean, a baby Fluffalo is cute.
It did happen.
I mean, it could have been dangerous if, like, mommy or daddy was around.
I would have died happy, Bastian.
I guess.
It was very cute.
Did it last long?
No.
Yeah. Ran away, did it?
Many good things don't last long.
Mm.
But I got to hug it for a minute, second, half second, possibly. Was that all you needed to ask me?
I really just want to make sure everything is okay with you.
I'm a little more concerned about you.
How so?
You were pretty, not yourself.
When when Athcen and Aidan first showed up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was he just triggered something without realizing it. And I didn't realize I had that kind of reaction in me.
It happens. The trick is to pretending it doesn't.
Yeah.
Pretend you're someone else.
I can't really be anybody but me.
You can if you practice. Think about it. The next time you think you're going to get really angry like that, pretend you're someone else.
I'll try
Someone
that.
that's not afraid of the thing that you're afraid of.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called it fear, but
I would. And she'll kind of reach up and like pat his hand.
Oh.
and he's gonna slip her some bacon.
Bacon.
And I think that very cute conversation is a good place to take a break. And when we come back, we're gonna see what Fenris and Anders get up to. So I get to talk to myself for a while. Or Anders can be stubborn and not talk. We'll see.
I can definitely help, Tanya, if you want. I will reenact the scene after break using these Funko Pops. And
oh my
this
god,
this is Fenris and Anders.
Wait, is that Geralt?
that's Geralt. And,
Don't make Geralt kiss somebody else. Oh dare!
That's
Don't you can't cross the streams like that.
It's the peak of all my
It's
fan
fanfic.
fiction.
It's really just.
we're gonna take a break.
See you in a few minutes, everyone.
Go stretch, get water, get meds, get food.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
We're back. We're back for shenanigans and Thirsty Thursday, which Varisa already got her serving of Thirsty Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little smirk though. So our crew is back together. Mavia has now terrified poor Athcen, unintentionally or intentionally, we'll never know. So we're actually gonna go to Fenris and Anders, and Zevran is there just as kind of a witness, but also to keep Fenris from doing something he may regret. Anders has been bound, so he does not flee, because even if he isn't really fighting back, he still has 2 legs and he's a very tall man and can run quickly. So Zevran has kept him bound. He is feeling better, and most of his mana is back, but he's in that defeated, I've been caught, do what you will with me state of mind. So he's not really fighting very much. And Fenris is just kind of standing there staring at him. Like he had in his head, he played it up a lot more, and he thought it'd be like this grand gesture, this grand fight. He even worried he may even have to kill Anders when he finally found him. But it's kind of anticlimactic to be staring at him on a medical tent cot in the middle of like the woods after having chased him for who knows how long. And Zevran is there, standing silent sentinel, kind of keeping a hand on Anders' shoulder, just in case he needs to subdue him. And Fenris finally sits down, and he looks at Anders, and then he pulls a crumpled note out of like one of his belt pouches. Granted, it's parchment, but it survived all the things he's gone through. He made sure that he had it, and he pulls it out, and he goes to read it. And his voice sounds very shaky as he reads it out. It's old, the ink's faded, but it's still legible. And he just looks at it before he reads it and glances at Anders. I need to go. I can't let you get caught because of me. You shouldn't have let me go after the chantry. Forgive me, but I left instructions on keeping your lyrium stable. I have to make things right, and I drag you both down with me, Anders. And he folds it neatly and puts it back in the belt pouch. He just stares at Anders. Why would you do this? And Anders actually looks down, and he can't bring himself to reply. Because now that he has to stare Fenris in the eye, he doesn't know that he can come up with all the excuses that he had in his head as he ran away and as he thought he'd make things better. He was trying to go through the Alluvians to find a solution, to truly get rid of justice, to find out if he could do something to make it right, or at least help the Inquisition. And he had no clue that Fenris was the Inquisitor until he woke up in a cot with him staring at him. So Fenris just waits for him. When he doesn't say anything, he's like, when we realized what you'd done, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And I've never said this to anyone outside of Hawk and Zevran. And like he's like getting emotional. He's trying not to, because he doesn't want Anders to see him get that upset. And he's often had these moments with Zevran as it was. And he's just, I'm not going to rehash it. You know what you did. You know what you did in Kirkwall. But you also made me a promise. You made Hawk a promise. And you ran away and reneged on that. And he shows him his palm. He's like, in addition to the lyrium, now I've got to deal with this. Hawk tried. He tried to keep my brand stable. He can't. That's not the kind of magic he's good at, and you know that. So one of two things can happen. You can come with us. You'll ride in a wagon with Zevran as your guard, because anyone else wouldn't keep you alive between here and Skyholds. Or you disagree, and Zevran or Bull is going to do what I don't think I can. And we go back, and I see if Dorian can help me, because I haven't wanted to ask an Altus for help for this. After all, Ventures what did this to me. So while I go get myself together and check in with Bull, you and Zevran can talk, and he can give you your choices and he can tell me your decision. I'm going to go to my tent and try to steel myself for one of two decisions. Before I go, do you have anything to say? And he looks at Zevran and he looks at Anders. And Anders, he keeps his head down. He's very quiet. Go have breakfast. I'll have an answer for you. Either through Zevran or if he'll bring me to your tent. As for why, because, well, spirits don't understand human emotion, or should I say a demon. I did what I thought was best, or what Vengeance thought was best. He couldn't figure out why I cared about this random elf. Why I didn't care more about the mages after I'd done my great plan, so I don't have a good reason. But either way, you'll have an answer soon. And he gets quiet, and Fenris leaves. And we're gonna leave him to make a decision, which I haven't decided if it's gonna be a roll the die or just make a decision on what to do with him. And while that's going on, the rest of you have a little bit of time left. Do you want to? What would you like to do in about maybe this hour you have before the camp packs up? And also, Varisa, give me a roll. So what is everyone doing in this last hour before the call to...
I think... Well, no, go ahead,
18.
Varisa.
18.
Okay, I hear myself somewhere. I thought I could be wrong. You overheard most of it except for what Anders said because he spoke so quietly. There are tent walls. You heard exactly what Fenris said, and so now you've got a better idea of what he wanted Anders for. And you also really heard the hurt in his voice and the indecision and the fear of having to make a choice he didn't want to and he doesn't want to still. So you overheard Fenris's part of it. You know kind of what the deal is now. If Anders gave a decision, you didn't get to hear it.
Yep. She would have been kind of like mostly standing outside, just cocked her head slightly in the dark, like corner behind a tree, and listen.
No.
I hit the mute key by mistake.
What did you all hear? What was the last thing you heard?
The last thing chat probably heard was before Varissa's roll.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
Varisa rolled an 18 for stealth.
Yes.
Heard everything.
Okay.
But back to being sneaky stabby bitch. And
Okay,
maybe
so
wants
I was gonna see. Did you all hear what Varisa did while leaning back and listening, or no? So we can repeat it if you didn't. Wow.
Quentin. We see you, Quentin.
They're also brothers. Well, not in the game. They're not brothers, but all right. So do you want to? So basically, Varisa overheard Fenris's side of things, and but not Anders. And then what did you do after eavesdropping, Varisa?
Then she's going to go wait for everyone else, and apparently Mavia wants to know if she had a very good time or not. And I'm going to roll.
Mavia's rolling to see if Varisa had sex.
Wait a second. You weren't there.
No, but I would be able to notice if she was acting differently.
So you want to see if she's like a little more radiant today as opposed to other days.
If there's a little bounce in her step. Or if she's very tired.
I mean, Zevran's considerate. He wouldn't leave her tired like that. And it's Varisa.
Zevran is very considerate. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Ah. Ha.
Wow.
Also, I love it straight twos.
Wow. Okay, then. Y'all work that out. Let's RP that.
It's not that, and I think you would notice a difference. It's not that she's happier or anything like that. It's that she's just calm. But in a way that, like she's not even in that joking phrase where she didn't come intentionally sneak up behind Bastion. Or even accidentally intentionally sneak up behind Bastion. She didn't say anything to any of you at breakfast. She just left you the plate and turned around. She didn't talk to any of you.
Yes, Mavia is definitely giving you the side eye. Like, she's not sure what's going on, but she's going to be watching very closely to see if she can figure it out. Because she wasn't there, so. I mean, I would hope I wasn't there. That would be creepy. Anyway.
So things got weird. So, you've scoped out that Varisa has a little pep in her step. Bastien, now that you've had your coffee, how are you feeling?
Happy.
Oh, why are you happy, Bastien?
Coffee. Coffee is one of those quintessential morning experiences. It was good coffee, and so he's thrilled that he's had his coffee. He's had breakfast. Mavia is back. She's alive after having hugged Fluffalo. Yeah, that's pretty much where his mind is at.
Okay. Athcen, are you going to try to talk to our apostate guest?
If he can, yes. I think he would at least go take a look.
Okay. Does Aidan want to go with him, or are you going to go by yourself?
If Aidan would like to come, I'd say he can.
If Athcen is leaving in a direction by himself, Aidan will just lift a hand and say, "Athcen, my friend, do you want me to come with?"
Sure.
Unless you're going in the bush to empty your, then I won't.
No, you can come. Just come, Aidan.
All
Come along.
let me
Stop
not.
it. Dang it, Tanya.
I'm sorry.
What, right now?
I mean, on command, on request.
Immediate. I mean, he's got to have at least some salami first.
He's not Harold.
I know, but it's
Lord.
Simon.
Let's go do mage things.
Yes.
Oh dear.
With our staves.
With the knobs
With the
on
knobs
the
on the end.
Oh god.
So yeah, let's go see Anders.
All right, you go. Zevran is still there, but there's been no order that people cannot come talk to him.
Mhm.
But obviously, if you try to harm Anders, Zevran is going to. He is acting as the right hand of the Inquisitor currently, as he would as Spy Master.
Mhm.
So if you try to basically, off Anders for your own means, he's going to stop you, and that will end very badly for your player character. Just so
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So you can go in unless something weird happens or you are aggressive. He will let you come in to a degree.
Okay. Yeah, I just slowly walk in and approach Anders as close as possible.
Anders looks up because he can sense your magic, both of you.
Mhm.
But he is still tied. He is still, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So he looks up at both of you, notices you're an elf. And, Aidan, he would have no idea about you culturally. Because, side note, canonically, half elves always look human in DA culture, DA lore for some reason. So, even for Alistair, you don't know that he's part elf. But he does sense your magic and he looks up, he's like, are you what? And he even leans back almost into Zevran's touch, like, protect me, because he doesn't know who you are.
I would like to ask you questions, if I may.
And he looks very confused for a second. He kind of leans back and looks at Zevran and then looks at you. So are you the interrogation squad?
No, I am seeking advice.
From me?
Yes.
For me?
Yes.
Why?
Are you possessed?
That's rude. You don't just walk up to someone and ask, are they possessed? I mean, he's not gesturing because his hands are tied.
Yeah.
But he's just like, that's rude. I don't even know your name.
It is Athcen.
Well, Athcen, especially from one mage to another, you normally just don't ask people that. Especially in front of an Antivan crow. That could kill me.
I have learned that if this person wanted you dead, you would be, and so would I, and everybody else in this room.
Zevran actually just laughs. He gives that little menacing laugh. Like, you're right. Like, you could all be dead in 5 minutes and I'd go about my day, but...
And full honesty, I feel like whether or not you give me the answer to that question, the crow already has the answer, but I am asking you.
And he actually kind of tilts his head back to kind of halfway look at Zevran again, and Zevran just kind of squeezes his shoulder like, everyone knows who's heard of you. And maybe this guy's new. And he rolls his eyes and he gives a very hefty sigh. He's like, are you sure you've never heard of the dangerous apostate Anders, who everyone says is a demon? You sure you're just not asking me for your own amusement?
There's a difference between rumors and asking the person you're speaking of.
This is refreshing. Most people just try to smite me on sight.
I know the feeling. I know the worry.
Quick question. I forget, is Athcen dressed like someone that would have come from Deventer?
Yeah, I don't think he had changed yet, because he was going to change with Bastion, but then he ended up walking with Aidan.
And he glances over your robes. You're like, Teventer Circle?
I was.
He's like, it's a yes or no question.
Yeah. I was of the Teventer Circle.
Then wouldn't you know a way to test for possession?
Yes, but it is more polite to ask.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm possessed. What, why are you asking?
Do you know of ways to get rid of it?
And he just starts laughing. Like, and that's kind of how I got here. I can't believe you asked me this laugh. You know, that hysterical, you're going to start crying when you're done laughing.
Yeah.
And he stops and Zevran keeps him from topping out of the chair. It's like, oh, friend, if I knew that, we wouldn't be here now, would we? And he also really doesn't, yeah. Well, he also really doesn't want to talk about it in front of Zevran because he knows whatever he says is going to go right back to Fenris.
Yeah. Zevran, this is a strange ask. Would you allow me 2 minutes, fully aware that if I had the awareness that if you wanted me dead, I would be, so I would not be foolish enough to make terrible choices.
You're not going to cut our apostate here free.
If I did, I would be dead within minutes, and I don't want to die.
If that can help, I can restrain Anders through magical means for the duration of whatever time Athcen needs. That way you could see for yourself that Anders could not go anywhere, and you would be assured that, there would be no foul play.
I don't doubt any of this. And besides, there's only one way he can get out of this tent, and it's through you two and through that flap where there's me and several well-trained bowmen. You get 2 minutes, and I'm counting. And he just saunters off and gives you a little, like, smarmy wave, because he knows he can murder all of you in minutes.
Do you want me to stay, Athcen?
Yes, I would like you to stay.
Ooh, I've never been invited to a private conversation before.
So, Anders, the group had retrieved you from the Illuvians, yes? And to get in and out of Illuvians, sometimes one has to have access to something. Something special.
Magic?
Yes, often a particular kind that can come from possession.
Spirit magic?
And
he frowns for a second. Oh, blood magic.
And sometimes people do not want it.
I'm sorry, most blood mages that I've met actively made that choice.
I made a choice out of fear. And I cannot blame it on being taken advantage of. But I can aim to change my choice.
Well, if you've already let the demon in and you haven't turned, I'm not sure what can be done, because possession means you have to accept a demon's bargain.
I'm no longer in Teventer, am I?
It doesn't matter where you are when the demon approaches you. You know they come to us in the fade in our dreams.
How do you think I got out of Teventer, Anders?
That's a fair. I can't say that I would have done the same or wouldn't have done the same, but we do have a Teventer Altus at Service of Skyhold that I've heard of. He's a necromancer. People have heard of him, Altus Pavus. He may know more than me, or if I can actually find what I was looking for, it could help you too.
What were you looking for?
Actually, a way to get rid of justice or vengeance. You see, Kirkwall was because I told a very, very unfortunate lie. I told them I was trying to separate myself from the demon, but it was a ruse, and that's what happened to Kirkwall's Chantry. So I've been looking for a real way to do this ever since I left them. And my research led me to the Alluvians.
If I may interject, you mentioned
You
justice
are
and just. Oh, hello, I'm Aidan.
Aidan.
You. What?
And he looks at you and he's like, from Starkhaven.
I
The one
have
that's-
no idea what you're talking about.
And he looks at you. He's like, you look like the drawings from history books I've read. But that's not possible. You should be dead.
I try to motion to him to, like, shush, and I point outside the tent.
And he shrugs. He's like, okay, whatever, you weird mage. He's in no position to argue with anyone.
You mentioned justice and vengeance. Were you possessed by two different spirits?
No, I corrupted the spirit of justice into vengeance with my anger and my rage.
Interesting. Would
Well,
the
you
opposite be
don't-
possible?
What do you mean?
Well, if you can corrupt a spirit into a demon, why not do the opposite? Say, let's take a spirit of rage, and you temper it with, I don't know, softness, humility.
And he shakes his head. He's like, that's not how it works. Justice was the spirit of justice, of righteousness. The anger demons that you see in the Fade and in our dreams are just demons. Only a spirit of compassion or justice or love to be corrupted or cleansed, but it would take a very strong Templar.
Oh, yeah. Bummer.
Well, time's almost up. I take it, Athcen and Aidan, you wanted to get rid of something or someone.
Yes, I do.
Well, once we're in Skyhold, if Fenris allows it, we can speak more. I'll share my research. I'm sure my bags have been gone through and they have my books anyway. Perhaps this Altus that works with the Inquisition can help you.
I hope so.
We'll see. But he looks up as Zevran enters the tent. It's like, I think our time is up for now.
Thank you for speaking to me, Anders. I hope that I can see you again soon for your sake and others.
I hope they don't skin you.
And he just kind of gives you a look like mages haven't been skinned since 3 ages ago, and even the Templars thought that was too barbaric.
Okay, time to go, Aidan.
It's called hyperbole, but all right. Goodbye.
Well, he would wave, but he's tied up right now. Literally. And we're going to leave you all to that. Varisa, what have you been up to?
Varisa is being herself and sneaky stabby bitch and trying to get as much information as possible and try and gauge how likely Anders is to die. And by that, she needs to gauge Fenris. So she's kind of sneaking around doing that.
She's not going to get a lot out of that because he's literally just sitting in his tent at a camp table, with a cup of coffee and food that's been brought to him, and he's deep in his own thoughts. He's wool gathering. He's not talking to anyone. The one person he'd be talking to right now is guarding Anders, and Hawk is back at Skyhold, and Bull has already given his report and gone off to do whatever it is that Bull does with helping break down camp. So I mean, he's deep in thought, and if Varisa wanted, you could try to talk to him, or you're gonna hear a lot of silence for now.
I think she'd kind of gauge him on that, kind of cock her head and make her way towards Bastien. And as she she's gonna try to do it and like gauge the plot. And as she do it, so she has to walk by Fenris where he's seated.
Well, he's in his tent.
Oh, okay. I thought you said he was sitting.
Well, he's got like a camp set up in his tent, like a table, a little camp chair. Okay. He's the Inquisitor, so he's got nicer accommodations than anyone else. So that's what I'm saying. If you wanted to try to talk to him, or even if you like to try to peek in and kind of see what he's doing since you can't hear him.
I think she would kind of like make it look like she's walking by, kind of glance sideways at him, reach under her coat, and Inquisitor, you look like you need this, and toss him the flask that she has, and then keep walking towards Bastien.
Huh. He catches it, and he gives you a curious look. But he actually does pour some in his coffee. He's like, she's been hanging around with Zevran.
That's a fair statement. That's a very fair statement.
Wait. Did Mavia hear that?
Unless you are like literally in Fenris's tent, probably not.
Crap. Okay. Detective Mavia is on the case of the Happy Varisa.
Oh my god. Well, speaking, yes.
Yeah, then she'd go and sit next to Bastien and just kind of like pull knives and start sharpening them.
Okay. But speaking of speaking of Mavia, what are you doing as you are our last person to check in with before we get on the road to Skyhold?
Well, I mean, she was already pretty much packed because she had just come back in. So she just kind of didn't unpack. So she's just wandering around. Everybody kind of went their separate ways, and not for the first time, she feels slightly superfluous to the entire thing. So she's just kind of wandering around and keeping an eye out for anything that she would find particularly odd, which wouldn't necessarily be mages talking to another mage or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Mavia would really be doing much beyond waiting.
Okay. Well, while you all are waiting and sneaking around and doing various things, Anders has given Zevran his choice. I'm going to roll a d20 and to see what happens. Oh, not that roll. Jesus. Okay. That would have been really bad. I got a nat 1 on one of them. You all turn your head and you actually see out of the medical tent, Zevran is marching Anders toward the Inquisitor's tent. He's got Anders' staff on his back and all of his other stuff. And he goes into the tent and no one hears anything, but everyone's having that, like they're all trying to like listen in and see if there's like an explosion of anger or something.
Marissa, stop sharpening. I need to listen.
You wouldn't be able to hear from here anyways.
Wow, why you gotta call out the fact that he's human though?
Got nothing to say.
Wow. I mean, you even if you weren't sharpening knives, you'd be hard pressed to listen because Zevran does pull the tent flap closed. And about 10 minutes go by, and Zevran comes back out, and he's actually leading Anders to a wagon. And it's not really a good thing because it's not like they planned for a prisoner. They weren't sure what they're going to find. But Zevran, helps him in the wagon because his hands are still tied. And he gets in with them, and it's high enough where if Anders was foolish enough to jump out, he'd break both his legs while it was moving. And the cart kind of has a guard formed up around it. And you hear the call to finish breaking down tents and follow to Skyhold. And, there are horses. Luckily, there are horses that were brought for you in case you were found or you found Anders. So no one has to walk. Otherwise, it would take you till like really late at night to get back to Skyhold. Do you all form up together? Do you chat on the way? Because on horseback, it won't take long. You'll be there by dinner time.
Aidan would slow the pace or pick up the pace to be on par with Athcen for a moment.
Okay. Would you be sharing a horse? Or would you each be riding a horse?
We can share a horse.
Oh, then you would just lean in closer to.
But question is, who's in the front and who's in the back?
All depends on the cold cuts.
It's true.
Oh, I have a focus in writing because I rolled it randomly when I made the character.
Oh, okay. So you can be back.
Well,
yes, Kelly, suffer.
If I know how to ride, shouldn't I be in the front to hold?
Oh, that's true. I can hold the back of you.
Yeah, you can hold my back.
Yeah.
You can cradle me.
Then I'll lean in when you say my name. God, Aston leans in. Don't make that personal, Gabe. Now I hate it. Continue.
I've been thinking, Athcen.
About what, Aidan? God, this sounds so bad.
I'm trying so hard. I failed.
Do you know about the Tranquil?
I do. Actually, yes.
So one thing that I thought about is how the Tranquils, due to their lack of emotions, are almost impervious to possession.
Interesting.
Would you... I would not submit another mage to the right of tranquility. That's just barbaric. But I think there is a bit of a truth behind it.
Could we shock my emotions in a way that they dulled and the creature had nothing to feed on?
Or I was thinking of maybe the opposite. Make yourself unappetizing to fear.
Oh.
Like a bout of extreme courage. Maybe that could piss off the demon enough to manifest, and we could try to tackle it.
I've only ever seen it done to some of the worst. Do you really think this is a possibility, Aidan?
I have to admit that my knowledge of spirit magic is profound, but my knowledge of the ecology and habits of demons is a bit more lacking.
Can we... So if we affect my own spirit in a way that it's unappetizing, it either leaves or starves.
I believe if we do so in the Fade, we might stand a better chance.
That's extremely dangerous. I'm in. And then I think he'll probably do you have anything else to add, Simon?
No, it's...
Just because I think it's funny. I think he'd probably sit back and lean back and then notice Most likely Varisa giving a weird look.
Bruce
But
isn't looking
not
at you guys
Varisa.
at all.
Excuse me. Varisa would be fine. Mavia. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Are you two like?
What are you talking about? We're not doing anything.
As Aidan has his arms wrapped around Athcen's waist.
Oh, opposite.
So they don't.
No,
Athens,
Athcen
Oh.
is wrapped around.
Athens
Oh.
big little spoon right now.
Oh. So that you both don't fall off the horse. You are so wrapped around each other right now.
I would just turn to Mavia and say, the crossroads are a very lonely place.
What?
Sorry.
That's in character. He's yes, they are.
It seems to be a very whirlwind romance. That's cool.
Wait.
That I mean, hey, sometimes you just know, right?
Do we? We talked about you. We literally had a conversation about not knowing the other day. Wait,
But that was the other day.
Oh, no, to be honest, if my wife found out I was having an affair with someone else, she would kill me.
You're married?
Why, yes, I also have children.
Oh dear.
And the plot thickens.
Aren't you old?
Dun, dun.
Yes, does that prevent me from having a family?
He probably had them before he got old.
Yes.
So
I
unfortunately must mention something to you, Aidan.
by
Do
you
you
his
have a
child?
wife?
Oh,
to me? Yes, I just said I had a wife.
No. You had a wife when you went into the mirrors. Past tense. The question is, do you have a wife?
Oh.
Now. Present tense.
Well, not in the physical sense, no.
Oh dear.
But in the sense that she is probably long gone from this world.
are you going to have spirit intercourse?
Is that a thing?
To
Is
be
that
fair,
possible?
I did think about it in some of my loneliest nights in the
Is it like-
crossroads.
Ghost sex? Oh my god.
Well, I read in a book
I
that
think
ghosts
all
are
of you are
attracted to
much
pottery.
weirder than I thought. And I thought you were pretty weird. And that's coming from me. Can you really do that with ghosts? Because that's just weird.
I don't know yet. I've spoken with ghosts. I've never tried to touch them. They don't tend to.
You see dead people?
I want to learn spirit magic so badly.
Well, every mage can. Mavia, it's part of the fades. Spirits are everywhere. Look at that tree over there. Chances are there's a spirit in it.
Do they know they're dead?
Don't have sex with a tree.
Well, I wouldn't have sex with a tree. Trees can't consent.
Oh.
It would also probably be fairly rough.
Not unless you send it, but
What?
Why are we getting into this? I mean, I know you mages have a thing for your staffs and those are wood, but I mean, this is getting a bit...
oh, I would never do that to my staff.
I mean, Varric talks to his bow.
Yeah,
lot.
he has a weird relationship with his crossbow, but
So maybe with that disbelieving look will spur her what I assume would be a pony on, and they faintly hear a new verse of her composition of a wizard's staff has a knob on the end as she rides forward.
once Mavia is gone, Aidan will just lean back to be closer to Athcen and say, "Thank the Maker, I finally found a way to answer all of her questions."
Yeah, I've never seen her walk away that fast. All it took was tree sex.
I know.
I don't think you all understand that she's composing a very dirty song about you, like 6 feet in front of you.
No, not at all. We're dense as hell.
Yeah.
Did you
Plus,
really
I mean,
consider
I'm gonna
having-
have a song written about myself. Like,
Okay, Isabella.
Does
Calm your
that mean-
fanfic.
Does that mean your children are spirits as well?
by then, by now, if they are still alive, they are rather old. They would be pushing their 80th birthday.
Do you plan to see them at all?
I doubt I can ever show myself back in. Shit, what's that place? The Free
Starkhaven?
Marches.
Yes.
Well, if we can resolve this issue, I'll deliver a message to them for you.
You would do that.
What are friends for, Aidan?
While this awkwardness is happening,
This is not awkward. This is the sweet stuff. Everything else was gross and nasty and freaky.
Yeah, like, Aiden's heart beats a little faster.
Yeah, stop it. Your wife can see us.
Yeah, you're gonna have to not hold me this close. Leave some room for my wife.
Tanya, please just take this. Just take this. We're gonna get worse. We're gonna get worse.
I was like, leave enough room for Andraste.
Yeah.
So while this is happening and you have your not leaving enough room for the maker moment on this horse, Varisa has she's been not stealthy, but she's been kind of making her way around the line back towards Skyhold, and she noticed Fenris. He still has her flask because there was no chance to go back and get it before you all took off. And she notices him and notices that he just doesn't seem confident and the Inquisitor like they would have met at the start of this venture. But he looked over and did notice her because she's not trying to be sneaky for once. She's just very much like eyes on everyone, very focused. And he kind of actually does the head nod like, hey, come this way. And he kind of lines his horse up with Varisa, and y'all are riding in tandem at this moment.
Yes, Inquisitor.
And he reaches in his vest and he hands you the flask.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should pocket it back.
Thank you for your kindness. You didn't have to.
That is, I think, the first time anyone here, well, let me rephrase that. First time you've said anything about me being kind.
And he tries not to snap at you because he's trying.
Yeah.
Because he's not okay.
He is not.
And he just goes, I was trying, Varisa.
You are.
I was trying.
And I'm trying as well, Inquisitor.
Well, you were kind when you didn't have to be, so I appreciate it. And I'm actually going to roll to see something. So keep talking to our Lord High Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
Yes.
I take it by this escort, we are not summarily executing our quarry.
And he gathers himself. He's like, Anders is not quarry. And if he was going to be executed, I wouldn't drag him to Skyhold for it.
That's good. I have a couple of questions that I would like to ask him of a technical nature.
Tech, but you're no mage.
No, but he was the only one who went through that alluvion. And we seem to be missing both Zalonis and your warden. And they went right after him. The three of us went together.
Fair enough. He's going to be put in a cell, at least for the first couple of nights, until we can find suitable accommodation. I'd rather you wait until he's moved out of cells, at least for one day.
I wasn't... Never mind. Don't worry, Inquisitor. I know my place.
It's not about your place. It's putting him in a cell is going to put him in a position, in a place of not being all right. And so I'd ask that you give him a chance to get used to his new life of captivity before you start to question him. Getting Harold and Zalonis is important to me, but if we lock him away in the dark and he can't even tell us who he is, it won't make anyone's job easier.
Yes. Torture is rarely effective. It doesn't actually get you what you want.
I wasn't going to torture him. Besides, Zevran is better at it than I am.
That I could believe.
It gives me no pleasure to do such things, especially to Anders or to others. So.
During this very serious moment,
What are you going to do?
you just, exactly what I said I was going to do. They're talking and you hear the little pony clopping up next to you, and she is singing her new verse of her song. Would you like to hear it, Tanya?
Ask Simon, because it's his channel.
The channel is 18 plus.
It's not super bad. It's not one of the really bad ones, because there's a couple that are really bad.
Sure.
So as Mavia rides past the Inquisitor having a discussion about his ex-boyfriend, you're gonna hear, "Oh, a wizard staff has a knob on the end, it does. A wizard staff has a knob on the end, it does. A wizard staff has a knob on the end, it's long and wooden and tends to bend, it does." It's just like keeps riding past you.
And Fenris, he just scowls and then he looks very confused.
And Varisa just kind of turns and hands him the flask again.
No, I need to be sober by the time we get back to Skyhold, but perhaps after dinner, I may seek you out.
All right.
My staff was adorned with a gem.
And whatever floats your boat.
Oh my god. What is poor Athcen? So pause on that. What are poor Athcen and Bastien doing while all of the shenaniganry is happening?
Chuckling wildly.
Yeah, Athcen's probably giggling for the first time in a while.
That's not nervous laughter.
Yeah, it's genuine, oh my god, there's something wrong with these people, but I'm not I'm okay with it. It's that kind of laugh. Wow. I kind
I'm
of
just
like
letting you
him.
know this thing has 25 verses.
Oh my god. I'm
And they
afraid.
get progressively worse.
This
So
is
don't
real?
encourage me.
This really has 25 verses?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
Discworld song.
Oh, Kelly.
Oh boy. Mavia is singing her very lewd song, and Bull at some point joins in because, of course, he knows.
I did
the verses.
teach him, yeah. Mm-hmm.
to the dirty song, and and you've been hanging out together, so you taught him the other filthy verses and his bowl. So he, of course, he memorized them.
Mm-hmm.
And Bastien, are you just gonna stay? Is everyone staying kind of in marching order as they are?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Aidan, go ahead.
There's not much that he's going to be really doing or interacting with as much as he's just looking around at everyone and listening, keeping track of, but not very much else at this point.
Okay. So Aidan and Athcen are riding together on one horse, and since Simon is literally not there, Varisa, what do you just kind of leave Fenris in silence? Do you still ride with him?
She would wait, like, after the whole exchange. She'd say, "You hired me because you know what I'm good
Wait,
at."
you're muted.
Who?
What?
None of us are muted.
What?
Everybody's muted.
Hey, chat, can you hear us?
I think it's your headset, not us. I have that same headset and it does the same thing.
Okay, chat can hear us.
Okay, it
Oh,
was,
I was
just me. My headset for some reason decided to stop working.
Oh,
I have that headset. I know why. But you were saying to the Inquisitor.
Oh yeah. She turns to the Inquisitor and says, "Oh, sorry, y'all." She turns to him and says, "You hired me because you know my skill set.
True.
I will make sure that we get both Zolanis and Harold." And that is the first time she uses Harold's name when she's talked about him. And I will make sure that things get done the way they need to be done.
We will. I mean, I'd like Harold back, and Zolanis. I like Zolanis, despite him having made a mess of Crestwood's mare on the floor in the main hall. I like him. I like Harold more, but.
Then I would ask a favor of you, Inquisitor.
And he gestures like,
don't tell Zolanis what happens after we get him back.
why?
Because he still thinks that I can be the same Varisa that he knew, and I can't. She's dead.
And he gives you a very piercing stare because he's not sure if you're being literal or not, because he did grow up in Tevinter, and necromancy is a thing. So he's kind of looking at you weirdly right now.
Not in a literal sense.
Your delivery is so... I was just checking.
As far as I'm aware, I never died. Let's put it that way, Inquisitor.
Well, that's good to know. It would be rather awkward, although I'm sure Dorian would have told me if you weren't quite alive. And that would be very strange.
Yes. Don't tell him what happens.
I've no reason to tell him because I'm sure I will have my hands full once we get settled at Skyholds. There's things to tell you all after your pay is settled and if you stay. And I will help you look for Harold and Zolanis. I mean, once hopefully Anders can do what I need him to do. So,
And she has this look on her face where she's like, yeah, you need medical attention, but I can't say that to you, so I'm not going to. But I know that there's a reason you grabbed a spirit healer and didn't have us kill him.
yeah, but and as a side note, when I rolled, Fenris knows that someone was eavesdropping, but he doesn't know specifically it was you because he's a little preoccupied. But he does know someone overheard part of that conversation.
I mean, that's fair. That's very fair. And she just kind of like nods her head slightly and then breaks off the line and starts kind of paralleling them, but off the road and then ahead.
And he gives you a respectful nod back, and he kind of falls in line near the cart that Anders is in. But you know, there's a circle of guards, so he doesn't break the line. He just kind of keeps an eye on the cart until they all get back, until everyone gets back to Skyholds. And if you could do me a favor and switch to the prison map.
Prison?
Yes, there's a prison.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to...
Yes, your GM was actually prepared for once.
Bam! Let's just center that. There we go.
So you all are free to do whatever you'd like to do. And Fenris and Zevran actually escort Anders to, well, if you've played Inquisition, you know that there's like cells in Skyholds, but this is what it looks like. It's very open, it's very airy. There's actually a window. Normally there would not be a window in cells like this, but this is like above ground. And Anders will be the only prisoner, so he won't be in a cramped cell like the Templars kept him in. And you know, he's put in the cell, and Zevran reaches through to untie him, and Fenris actually gives him that pillow back. Obviously, don't give him his staff or anything. And he just looks at him. It's like, I'll make sure there's no mage bane in your food as long as you agree to what we need you to do. I'd rather not treat you like the Templars did. And also, you're going to be safer in here than anywhere else. A lot of people want you dead. Luckily, I don't. And Anders is deep in thought. Like, he's flashing back to when he was put in solitary for a year. Granted, this cell is far more spacious than when he was kept in for a year. But he's flashing back to the times the Templars have brought him back. And he just sits in a corner with that pillow and hugs it and doesn't pay them any attention. And Fenris gives like one sad little like smack to the bars before he leaves Zevran to set up a guard rotation and everything, and goes back into the main building, Skyhold. What do you all do now that you're back at the fortress? Anybody?
Sorry. We have heard that there was a resident elven mage in Skyhold. If I remember right, that was in the course of our discussions in the past 2 episodes.
Well, there's 2. There's Solus that you would have heard about.
Mm-hmm.
And the elven mage that swears her staff is a bow that is in the Chargers. But I doubt anyone would have told you about her.
No, I'm talking about the egg.
Yes, the egg. The egg is around in the rotunda somewhere. I'll be arguing with Dorian about magical theory.
I would actually like to go introduce myself to both these mages.
The Chargers or Solus and Dorian?
Oh, Solus and Dorian.
Okay. All right, so you're going to go off and look for Solus and Dorian. Mavia, Bastian, and Athcen, and Varisa, what are you all doing?
I sent you a question.
It is yes because it is getting to be evening, not because it's always that way.
Okay. Mavia would like to try to sneak down to the dungeons.
All right, give me a stealth roll. Because of who Anders is, there are going to be there's going to be guards and
Trying to
things
see
like
if I
that.
have a specialty in that because of the whole rogue thing.
It's under Dex. If you have the
Yeah, no,
it.
I have blades, light blades instead. So
Yeah, but you should have a high.
yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 14.
You manage it. You're not as sneaky as you thought you were, but they know that the Inquisitor had hired you all to go get Anders, so no one really thinks too hard about it. They figure maybe you're supposed to question him. They don't look at you too intently. So we're gonna say for now that you do get to the dungeons and you are on your way to try to sneak down there and see Anders. Bastian and Athcen and Varisa.
Is it safe to let Aidan go off by himself?
Are you asking me as a GM or are you saying that out loud as a character?
He's saying that out loud as a character.
I don't.
Bastian and.
I don't know if anything around Aidan is necessarily safe.
That's true.
Just given his predilection towards really awkward social, we might want to just follow him.
Okay, so Tanya, how much
Yes.
information would Gabe have about Solus?
Gabe.
I'm not Gabe. I'm
Like,
Athcen. Gabe knows
I was
plenty
like-
about Solus.
I was like, I don't know what Gabe knows.
Yes.
Athcen probably wouldn't know much because, lore wise, the members of the Inquisition don't know that much about him because he shows up and offers his services to the Inquisition.
Yes.
So you would just know he's another elven mage until you talk to him.
Okay.
By seeing him, you would sense his magic.
Because Gabe is concerned about Aidan talking to Solus, but
You
Athcen,
should be.
Yes. Yeah. Real bad, maybe. But Athcen doesn't know that. He's just like, it's another mage. It's fine.
Yeah. So you just know, and I don't know, where would you have heard about this elven mage? Because you haven't been with them that long.
That's
No,
true.
but I think Solus was mentioned. I'm trying to remember if it was right after we came out of the crossroads or in the last episode.
Well, last episode, Solus was mentioned when Varisa and Zevran were talking by themselves.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, then no, never mind.
You could just go and look around Skyhold until someone asks you, who are you and why are you here?
Well, I would ask around if there are any other mages here.
You could. You can. That sounded way more sinister than I meant. You can. I was like,
I mean,
wait a
you
minute.
could. You're gonna get killed for it, but you could.
Not killed, but it's like, Fenris is not the most friendly toward mages in general, except for the ones he likes, and there's very few of those. But let's say you enter and someone says, oh yes, Lord Inquisitor has said that there were people who needed rooms, and as you are being shown to a guest room, you can ask about mages, and that's where we're gonna leave Aidan.
Aidan would have one question before.
Okay.
And that's a question I also have for Tanya out of game.
Okay.
Has Fenris sided with the Templars or the mages?
I'm not going to tell you. That is DM knowledge.
But would I see a bunch of Templars walking around?
I'm not going to tell you. That's DM knowledge. Not yet. I'm not going to answer that question until next week.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
Well, it's because it's gonna alter how paranoid I become.
Oh, good. That means I'm doing my job. I'm not really.
Oh
trying.
no, that could be horrifying.
Yeah, right.
It's like you could do these things. Ha ha ha. But does anyone want to do anything else before we kind of sunset tonight's episode?
Varisa would turn to Zevran, like kind of leaning back against the door outside the dungeon, as because assuming that Zevran went with Fenris to lock up,
Yeah.
and then just kind of leaning there, and she goes, "So where do I put my bag for tonight?"
Oh, he's just like, if you can wait about a half hour, I'll show you where my quarters are.
Well, I feel like I should practice, always best to make sure one's in fine form. You can find me on the archery field.
All right. I will see you later. And he gives a little smile as he watches you walk away, a little pep in your step. And he turns to see Fenris kind of giving him a look like, I see you've wasted no time. And Bastien, what are you doing? And Mavia, what are you doing? Well, Mavia's sneaking down the dungeon. Bastien, what are you doing?
Bastion is quasi concerned about Aidan being Aidan. And at the same time, if it's going to come down to following Aidan versus following Athcen, more likely to follow Athcen.
Okay.
And keep an eye, not as a, oh, I need to know exactly what he's doing or blah, 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 but more of a, I've got to keep an eye to keep safe.
He'd ask them if he sees Bastion, he'd probably tell Bastion a bit of like the stuff he talked about with Anders, and then like moving closer towards Anders, not necessarily talking about Anders' possession, but Anders having an idea for getting rid of it, and then it might involve spirit magic. So hopefully Aidan does not die.
And we're actually going to have that conversation next week because that's where we're going to end it.
Cool.
So everyone has something to do at the start of next episode.
Organization.
On occasion, I'm an okay DM.
I was more worried about us.
Oh,
You are always a great DM.
thank you.
I have to say, Tanya, I agree.
Oh, well, thanks. I wasn't fishing for compliments. I'm always an anxious being. But I'm going to turn it over to Simon to take us out.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for all the raids, the sub-train, the follows, the donations, everything. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you watching on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that we have fans on the other platform. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Magen Press. Check out their Kickstarter, Conspiracy in the Stars, if you want to get into sci-fi D&D. Check out Found Familiar. If you want to order some amazing coffee, check out Roll20 if you want to play tabletop RPGs with your friends remotely during these times of COVID. And check out our partners, Level Up Dice. You can do so with the links in chat or in the panels down below. Speaking of Level Up Dice, so I just received I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I can see them.
Yeah, so the special branded D6 sets that come in a magnetic metal puck case thing. So I received them earlier this week. We're going to have giveaways for the other sets that they've shipped me. That is thanks to all of you who either clicked on the link just for fun or clicked on the link to purchase dice. So thank you, everyone. And before I leave, we also have a Patreon. Check out patreon.com/wanderingdm. I'm about to publish the August encounter of the month, which, as voted by the patrons, is most likely going to be a level 20 combat encounter for D&D, which will be the third and final D&D encounter for now, unless it's voted again. I'm opening it up to other systems as well, and we're going to have our workshop, our player and GM workshop of the month, held later this month on a Sunday afternoon. That said, I'll pass the mic along to the rest of the cast. If you have anything to plug, tell us where you're going to be, what you have going on in your lives, and where we can reach you. We'll do the same order as we did the intro, so we'll begin with Deirdre.
Oh, hey, y'all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter, or Praxagorath Esmiophoria, as you see me around on Twitch. And you can find me back here tomorrow for the fun times and not dealing with Trinz's ex-boyfriend. Boyfriend. Then Saturday, I'm back here at 1 p.m. Eastern for Black Flag, our Rapscallion pirate campaign. And I get to prove that there are actually consequences for my players' choices. That these are things that happen. And then you can find me also on Wednesdays over on Laugh Love Lindy's channel for some Witcher Wednesdays, Witcher Family of Wraiths. It'll be great. But other than that, check my Twitter because that is post where I'm going to be. All the fun, wonderful people like these fabulous people right here, all of them, fabulous, wonderful people that I get to hang out with, tell stories with, and until next time.
Up next is Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew at Anderful1 on Twitter, and well, you find me here on Thursdays, and you'll find me here next Thursday, and that's pretty much it for now. Yeah, I get to play great games, enjoy the Thirsty Thursdays. Tanya, thank you so much. And I'll pass it off to Kelly.
Hello, I'm Kelly, aka the Opera Geek. You can find me on Twitter at the Opera Geek, and all my social links, Patreon, Ko-fi, everything is in my pinned tweet, so that I don't have to remember to say them all the time. You can catch me on my Twitch channel most days, doing a lunch break live stream, either of something like Animal Crossing, or starting last night, I started doing the Untitled Goose Game, which I was having way too much fun with. Go figure, me causing problems that I would enjoy that. You can also catch me on Tuesday afternoon. I will be on Critical Bard's chat show in Unison. He and I are going to, as he said, talk about some real shit, and it is true. And also next week, I've been teasing it on Twitter. There will be an event next Saturday, the 29th, raising funds for the NAACP Defense Fund, for which myself and two of my opera friends have recorded the entire Final Fantasy VI opera to be played as a pre-recorded thing. We obviously can't sing it live. It's not going to work over Zoom, but pre-recorded, and then we will talk about it. So yeah, keep an eye out.
I need that link now in my life.
Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe. Gabe James Games on Twitch, Twitter, pretty much anywhere else on the internet. You can find me on Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern time on the D&D channel, currently playing in a Lost Mine of Phandelver campaign. You can find me here on Thursdays. You can find me Sunday on the Go JG, playing in a campaign of Dark Matter, playing through Conspiracy of the Stars. If you wanted to get a early look at what the Kickstarter stuff looks like, you can do it there. Not so much this week. I'm excited for next week because then I can finally start announcing some stuff that I finished, which is nice because I like talking about things. I just don't like when I can't talk about things, but very soon.
Out of curiosity, before we get to Tanya, Gabe, where are you at in the adventure?
So Dr. Gogglefogger, there was a timer behind them, and none of us had the agency to say anything until it got to 3, and then our session ended. So we don't know what happens next, but we basically just watched a giant timer appear behind a man, and then we were like, oh, they're basically monologuing, but then he didn't know the timer was behind him, so we realized that's bad.
Oh, so you were still in the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I ate the little blue thing.
Okay. Tanya.
I'm just looking at you like you could have done this after the show was over.
Sorry.
I'm just staring at both of you. My name's Tanya, Cypher everywhere online. This Sunday coming up, it is season 7 finale of Rivals of Waterdeep. Who knows what's going to happen? Hopefully Sharif does not throw another impossible puzzle at me. And Sleece has now earned consequences of getting her vengeance. So check us out over at twitch.tv D&D. And that is Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 Central, 1 Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain. And then Saturday, the Order of the Sunfish rides again with Dungeon Crossing on my channel and also twitch.tv Gary Whitta, where I take a friend of the channel, Urban Bohemian, Shannon Woodward, Gary Whitta, and Adam Nickerson through D&D as they're all learning. And Brian is relearning how to play. And when last we left off, Adam Nickerson's character got a very good stealth check, but then opened up a door to a were-rat that might want to kill him. Who knows? Let's see what happens. And then, as far as I know, Sunday, we're also doing Aegon over at Bard and Barbarian. And make sure that you don't miss Rivals because we'll have announcements, at least about what's happening after the end of Season 7. And coming to my channel, I hang out, I do stuff, I stream on occasion, I yell at video games and swear quite a lot. So come hang out. And, of course, be back here on Thursdays for Thirsty Thursday and our shenanigans. And let's see if we ever get Harold back. Who knows? We haven't decided. So see you next week.
Ciao, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for Cyberpunk Red with our brand new intro, so you won't want to miss this. Have a good rest of the week, everyone. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye.